the years, we have seen tons of organizations trying to ruin the gaming industry and ultimately weed out the gamers they deem as too toxic, but now a BBC host has called for the final purge of gamers over Sweet Baby Inc. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, of course, the media over the past few weeks and months has been desperately trying to defend Sweet Baby Inc. and ultimately attack gamers, the very people who developers need to make this industry a successful one, and instead of showing us some general level of respect, like, hey, they have opinions that I personally don't agree with, they think that we are the lowest life people in existence. And now we have Jules Hardy, a presenter and host for CBBC, part of the BBC network, has called for a final purge of these kinds of gamers in the wake of a new Steam curator list similar to the recent Sweet Baby one. Now, of course, this all centers around Black Girl Gamers, another narrative consultation company in the industry that over the past couple of weeks has faced a lot of criticism. Of course, they are the notable narrative consultation company who helped on one of 2023's largest disasters, Forspoken, which is hilarious to see. And she decided to tweet out. Hardy's tweet was in support of Black Girl Gamers, a company that, in their own words, is partnering with brands to change gaming from the inside out. But she said, can we agree for a round 2 of this, that it can be the final purge of these kinds of gamers? So, of course, this, in quotes, means Gamergate. They're talking about Gamergate 2. And then she straight up says a final purge. She wants us ripped out from the industry root and stem. But newsflash, without us, without gamers like me, and without gamers like you, this industry would not be the behemoth that it is today. And half of these people, half of these activists would have no place within the industry because it would be a shell of what it once was, or what it at least is today. It's 2024, she says. I've been arguing about this for decades. Can we have a last full detox of these dudes so we can get back to the positive gaming community we have been creating? I think it's hilarious that, of course, it's targeted towards men. Oh, toxic men. Men are awful, because she only specifies a full detox of these dudes. I'm a woman who happens to support Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, who happens to be against the mainstream. And yes, I know that that is pretty unpopular for, women. I feel like a lot of the women in this space have been kind of brainwashed by the mainstream saying men are toxic and men are awful and men are ruining this industry and keeping you out of it. But the problem with these narratives is that, of course, that is just not the case at all whatsoever. But there are too many people out there who are not actually doing research for themselves and who are not actually forming their own opinions themselves. I mean, Jules Hardy has put out this absolutely disgusting post, and she's proud of it, which is the worst part. For years, okay, we as gamers have been trying to make friends with the very people co-opting our industry. We wanted to give them chances to create their own entertainment. We didn't instantly want to say you have no place in our industry, because we want new, unique stories to be created. And ultimately, hey, if I don't like your game, that's okay, as long as there is another group of people interested in it. But it's people like this who make it impossible. You want to purge the people you disagree with, who you deem as toxic, but what if we deem you as toxic? They would call that harassment. But of course, it's okay when they say it, and she shows no sympathy in the world for this. But of course, she is getting absolutely destroyed on social media by real gamers who are saying this is an absolutely disgusting way to word it, and it makes it sound like a threat, that they are threatening us. People are saying yet to meet any of those dudes, been playing Destiny Online for years, must be the company you keep. Only time I get attacked is by people like you who claim to support diversity until that diversity doesn't agree with you, and I completely agree. I mean, I grew up playing Xbox Live in the 360 days of Halo and Call of Duty, and yes, of course, there would be banter with people, but it never went beyond that. There was never genuine harassment, and on social media today, while I receive criticism, any sort of posts that could be deemed as toxic come from these very people and the very supporters of individuals like Jules Hardy. And these people claim to want inclusivity, but they want to do that by excluding certain groups of people, in this case who they deem evil white cis men, which is disgusting and not acceptable at all whatsoever. But of course she and her ilk believe that's acceptable, which of course just isn't okay. What specifically have you been arguing about for decades? Yeah, she shows absolutely no proof of that. It's not like she's even a gamer. It's not like 20 years ago she came out and talked about the gaming industry. Like, that trail doesn't exist. What have you created, not co-opted, but created other than hateful rhetoric in calling for a purge? Imagine if one of us went on social media and said we need to purge these activists from the gaming community and went on a whole spiel. Okay, it would be called harassment, but it's not harassment when they say it, because when they say, oh, well, that's just the truth. It is so absurd. People are saying things like, sorry, we'll be here long after you've gotten bored, and this is so true. It's individuals like her who have tried their very best to co-opt the industry, and it's companies like Sweet Baby Inc. and Black Girl Gamers that we do not want to support that ultimately, you know, push these harmful narratives about the gaming industry. These people will get bored of gaming one day. And while I do not ever think we are going to completely get rid of the, the woke scourge that is raging through the gaming industry, I do think that these people will get sick and tired of gamers and eventually one day have to go and find another industry. Of course, the gaming industry is absolutely a behemoth, which is why they want to be part of it. They see a lot of money in this industry, and that's why they have tried their very best to become relevant in our space, when realistically, we see these individuals and we see these types of posts and we just point and laugh because there's nothing else to do. Honestly, I pity fools like Jules Hardy who do not actually want to have conversations with the people they deem as opponents. I could sit down and have a civil conversation with someone like her, but she doesn't want that, and that's the issue with people like this. And all we can do is point and laugh because they do not want to have genuine conversations with people that they completely and utterly disdain. I mean, as you can see, she has gotten completely and utterly annihilated on social media after this post, sitting at a measly 165 likes to 2.6k comments and 705 retweets. That is not a sign that her audience is following her and supporting her. I mean, she's got 45,000 followers on Twitter/X, and she cannot muster a measly 1,000 likes or 1.5k likes. She can't, because her audience does not support her, because of course she's not actually a gamer. Her audience isn't gaming or entertainment based, and it will be interesting to see if she doubles and triples down on this stance and of course calls gamers toxic and sexist and all of these different things. Now that she has faced so much criticism, it wouldn't surprise me if she came out and said that of course she was being harassed, because that's one of the easiest plays in their playbook, but only time will tell. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.